The upcoming stretch of the fantasy calendar needs to be maneuvered with extreme caution, which is why you're tapped into the latest waiver wire special on your daily source for fantasy hockey, the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, with all the must-adds you need for the upcoming week. Let's get this paper.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back inside the lab to your latest edition of your daily source for fantasy hockey and betting breakdowns. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, coming in hot for a big waiver wire Monday special with all the targets that you need to dominate the upcoming week. Shout out to the everydayers holding us down, making us your first listen every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Start the season with a big return on FanDuel, because right now new customers that bet $5 and hit that bet get $150 in bonus bets right away at FanDuel.com. Head there to get started. Mr. Roden, I said it off the top. I really do think that if you had a couple of good weeks, the next couple could be critical. So maneuvering this waiver wire is going to be even more important. Of course, Monday's big time bets coming up, loaded betting board for a Monday night of action. Over to you, my friend. Who are you looking at? Mondays are always big in the fantasy game. Another juicy weekend of NHL action.
Oh, baby, this is a big week in the fantasy hockey community. Many teams have 4 games this upcoming 7 days. So lots of players to look at for this upcoming week. Goalies, defensemen, forwards, we got it all today. I'm starting with a goaltender. I'm starting with probably the Calder favorite right now. Dustin Wolf has been nothing short of spectacular for this Calgary Flames team. It's been truly amazing to really see him bring that confidence, bring that caliber of skill to every single stage of his career in professional hockey, and now doing it at the stage in the National Hockey League. It's just been amazing to see. This Calgary Flames team has been great all season so far. They've been a top 3 team in the Pacific Division, solely because of his spectacular play in the blue paint, sitting second in the Pacific Division with a record of 12-6-3. Their team's been very solid so far this season, but Dustin Wolf has been the best player for them all season long. 8-2-1 record with a .926 save percentage and a 2.33 goals against average. I mean, again, we've talked about him in the past, about him being able to accomplish this all at different levels throughout his professional career. And he's doing it so consistently right now in the first stretch with the Calgary Flames. He's owned at 40% on ESPN right now. It's going to be a little bit tougher to get him on Yahoo, because I believe he is rostered at 70 to 75%, somewhere around there. So more likely you get him on ESPN rather than Yahoo. But if he's available in your league, I think you have to give him a shot right now. He has 4 wins out of his last 5 games, and even that 5th one went into overtime against the Boston Bruins. So he's been nothing short of spectacular. Like I said, he's been fantastic for them, and a big reason why they're so successful a month into the season, or 2 months into the season.
Over the last couple of seasons, the Calgary Flames have been one of those teams that are just super frustrating to watch, losing lots of really close games and perhaps not getting a big save from their goaltender. And they're getting that right now from Dustin Wolf. And this is a team that's also near the top of the table in overall goals against. Yeah. They are up there with the good, stingy teams of the league: Rangers, Caps, Kings. Flames right there in the mix this season, and Dustin Wolf at the heart of that. I love that you're highlighting it. This team's also been getting it done by committee. A little bit of love from the young guys, a little bit of love from the blue line, some of the veterans in there, the Backlunds of the world getting it done as well. So impressive for Flames fans. A lot of really intriguing fantasy pieces here, Steele. Week-to-week ads. I think Dustin Wolf is an add and keep for the rest of the year if you can get him.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say real quick that their weekly schedule is very advantageous this week. They are on a road trip, but they've got some good teams. They've got some teams that they can really dominate against. The Ottawa Senators have continued to struggle this season, really falling apart once again in the blue paint for them, so they can take advantage of that. But 4-game road trip this upcoming week. The Ottawa Senators tonight, Monday night, the Detroit Red Wings on Wednesday. Then you got a back-to-back in the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So those are 4 teams in the Eastern Conference, 2 in the Atlantic, 2 in the Metro, that are at the bottom of the barrel, bottom of the division, and you could really take advantage of it. And Dustin Wolf will be getting 3 of those starts, in my opinion. So I like this week for Calgary Flame players and Dustin Wolf.
Really like it, Steele. Let me shine a little bit of love before we get to break. More of our targets and bets. We're going to keep today super short and sweet. We always get you guys in and out in 30 minutes with all of the fantasy news that you need Monday through Friday. We're right here for y'all. Anthony Cirelli is on an impressive heater. He's got 21 points in 19 games, Steele, including 6 goals in his last 5 games. And what's impressive for me, not only is he chipping in with some peripherals as well, 10 hits, 19 block shots, 8 penalty minutes. For me, what's really intriguing, he anchors that second line in Tampa Bay, doesn't jump off the page. The second power play unit, he also anchors that. And this is a team that is flying a little bit under the radar, Steele, but still has a ton of quality. And I'm just bringing this one up for Anthony Cirelli this week. You mentioned the schedule. Tampa Bay is one of those teams with 4 games, and they have the Caps, Preds, and Avs, and Leafs. Pretty advantageous week for the Tampa Bay Lightning, given the heater that Cirelli is on right now and what I've seen from him just at both ends of the ice. Again, a player much like the team, doesn't get a ton of love. 55 on Fantrax, 32 on Yahoo, and 49 on ESPN. I think this week especially, while he continues to be so hot, Anthony Cirelli must add for me, especially given those 4 games.
Yeah, he's also on my radar right now as well. He's on a 5-game point streak currently, and he's got 8 points in those last 5 games. So he's been on a very, very hot streak right now. 21 points in 19 games for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He also makes my list as well.
Boom.
And again, there's a lot of teams out there that have 4 games this upcoming week. The teams I would stay away from probably are both the Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers, as they only have 2 games this upcoming week. So those are 2 to probably stay away from.
Yep.
But yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning, 4 games this week. A little bit more of a difficult schedule, but it's nice to see Anthony Cirelli getting in there as well. It's not just Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Jake Gensel. You're getting that depth scoring that the Tampa Bay really need on a consistent basis, and he's been one of their best players so far this season. So I've got Anthony Cirelli as well this upcoming week. So love that you mentioned him as well.
Ice time up big time for Anthony Cirelli as well. Well over 20 minutes in ice time per night when his career average is right around 17. Really, really good sign. Let me spit out one more target very quick. Let's get to break. This is a player. Shout out to Fern Avenue Public School, West End Toronto boy product. Will Cooley making a name for himself this year in the NHL. Last year, he just run ragged. He threw the body around like crazy. Steel. This guy had 10 hits the other night against the Seattle Kraken. And now he's chipping in with some solid offensive numbers. 7 goals, 8 assists, ice time creeping up as well. In terms of week-to-week streams, Will Cooley, for me, jumps off the page this week. Given his third-line role and given his 13 and 14 minutes of ice time per night, it's hard for me to say that this guy sticks longer than this week because he's just that perfect kind of add and drop. Blues, Canes, Flyers, and Canadiens this week for the Rangers. Really liking that. And if you need some hits, you need some PIMs, this is your guy. And right now he's also bringing some offensive love. So 52% on Fantrax, 34 on Yahoo, and 31 on ESPN. He's likely out there as well. Factor in the Rangers' good schedule and all of those peripherals. I'm loving Will Cooley this week. Big time.
Yeah, the Rangers have been a little bit difficult over the last stretch of games. I'm seeing some people out there on Twitter calling them some frauds. Not something to believe in right now. I'm not buying into that. It's been difficult over for the Rangers. They got pummeled pretty badly against the Edmonton Oilers over the weekend. So hopefully they can right the ship, turn things around. But I like Will Cooley. He's one of those guys in the bottom 6, like you said last year. It was all just physical. It was all just running around, getting those peripheral stats, especially the blocks and the hits. But now he's showing some offensive skills. So that has been a guy that if you picked him up early on, then he's been pretty good for your team and he's been helping you out. So I like Will Cooley.
Shout out to the Fern Avenue Falcons. Shout out to the rest of the episode. We got a few more targets to get through. We got bets to get to as well. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook. Tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $5 winner. You get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 wager wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place bets all on the NFL in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, check out live stats, live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page. You're already making your bets. Visit FanDuelToday.com to get started. Get started with that $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 wager hits. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Continue to smash that subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We appreciate all that love and support you show us. Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning is when you can find our episodes. Week 8 for your must-add waiver wire targets for this upcoming weekly matchups. You can find it all here, every single position, goalies, defensemen, forwards. For me, my next guy on the list, Tyler Seguin of the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
Again, many teams that you can look towards this upcoming week. A lot of them have 4 games on the schedule. I like the Dallas Stars a lot this upcoming week. Again, little bit of a tougher schedule, but 4 games, all spread out, no back-to-backs, 2 road games, 2 home games. You've got the Carolina Hurricanes starting off the week tonight, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Winnipeg Jet, the hottest team in the league right now. So very important week for the Dallas Stars, in my opinion. You've got both the Colorado Avalanche and the Winnipeg Jets at the end of the week, but Tyler Seguin's been pretty good so far this season. 7 goals, 16 points in 15 games. He's not really filling out the peripheral categories. It's a little bit of a struggle so far this season. Only 2 hits, 5 blocks, 35 shots on net. However, he is shooting at 20% right now. Getting it done on even strength, a little bit on the power play as well, with a couple of goals here and there. But I like Tyler Seguin. He's got 5 points in his last 5 games. He's just chipping in alongside Mason Marchment, Matt Duchene, those guys. So you're liking the depth scoring from the Dallas Stars, and I'm liking Tyler Seguin or a few other of those star pieces around him.
Considering the makeup of their second power play unit, which is where he's currently deployed with Matt Duchene, Mason Marchment, Thomas Harley, and Wyatt Johnston, which on paper, I absolutely love that unit, and you'd think they'd be tearing it up. This is a Dallas power play that sits well outside the top half of power play proficiency. They're only clicking at 17% right now on the man advantage. And given all of those talented players just on the second unit alone, it's somewhat puzzling, especially when you look at how good this team is defensively, which usually allows that forward group, that offensive unit, to really settle in and get comfortable because your defense is holding it down. The Dallas Stars have allowed the least goals against in the NHL this season at only 44. So to me, this is a bit of a puzzling situation that I think you're right to kind of jump on now, because at some point, this Dallas unit, I think, will explode. It's just a matter of time for me, given all of the nice balance of young skill and aged veterans. So I like that you're highlighting Seguin. I don't think we've still seen the best from the Dallas Stars yet, and they're still very much lurking around in that Central Division right now in third spot, 26 points. Anyway, back to the blue line. You said we're trying to throw some love to all the positions. I'm going to throw some love to a player that I have before and that I know you'll back me up on. When he is on his game, there is so much to like about Jake Walman. And right now on the San Jose Sharks, I know it's still the Sharks, but when you look at this guy's numbers this season, Steele, I really think he should be discussed a little bit more. 16 hits, almost 30 block shots. He's got double digits in penalty minutes, and he's got 13 points. He's eating more ice time than he ever has, not even close, almost up to 23 minutes a night. So when you have a team improving in the San Jose Sharks, and say what you will overall, they're definitely becoming a more effective group. offensively. So when I look at Jake Walman, and you're also going to get some peripherals, he's eating so many minutes. Yeah, it's not so sexy, but I'm really liking this guy's game. And let me finish it off with this. 4 games for the Sharks this week, and a pretty good one. Kings, Sens, and the Kraken twice. So all of those games, in my opinion, yeah, are the Sharks underdogs? Sure. But those are games that they can definitely win, and they should be getting their offense out. 77 on Fantrax, it's going to be tough. But 42 Yahoo, 38 ESPN. Jake Walman on the blue line, for me, he's up there as one of those must-adds for this week. You're going to get a little peripheral. You're going to get a little offense. Should be a good look.
Yeah, Jake Walman has just been one of those guys. Again, for me, I've talked about him over the last season and a half, and being moved around, he's really helped his fantasy value, just becoming one of those guys that you can depend on no matter the situation and no matter what team he's on. I'm looking at Jake Middleton of the Minnesota Wild, a guy that we've talked about a little bit before as well.
Mustache.
What a bright season for him so far. He has been fantastic, really surprising offensively. I didn't expect him to be producing as much as he is right now, but I love to see it. 3 goals, 11 points on the season for Middleton in 11 games. He's a plus 16, 11 penalty minutes, 48 blocks, 27 hits, 31 shots. He's filling out all the peripheral categories you could think of or want to see from a guy like this. So it's really awesome to see him really helping in the offensive zone, get a couple of goals here and there, helping playmaking and setting up his teammates. And again, 4 games on the schedule for the Minnesota Wild, starting off tough against a division rival in the Winnipeg Jets at home. But then you've got a really advantageous schedule moving forward onward from that. You've got the Buffalo Sabres and then a back-to-back situation against the Chicago Blackhawks and the Nashville Predators. So it's a very good week for this Minnesota Wild team. You can stream a lot of their players, guys like Ryan Hartman or Frederick Goudreau, guys who are starting to get some more confidence right now later in the week against those, lesser teams, if you say. But yeah, I like Jake Middleton once again for this week. He's just filling out all those peripherals I love to see.
Got to throw some love to Billy G for assembling one of those teams that, hey, right now it's working, right? And last year we saw some of the pitfalls of really trying to plug in the league. Yes, trying to plug and play some of these more under-the-rated names can be a very difficult game from a GM's perspective. And right now it's really working for Billy G and the Minnesota Wild. Second best goal differential in the entire Western Conference. They're looking good, 6-2-2 in their last 10. Can't take away from a single thing, and it helps when you got the number 1 point getter in the league and arguably right there as the Hart Trophy favorite in Kirill, the Bill, the Thrill. So nasty this year already, and I like talking about that guy. Kent Johnson, since coming back from injury steal, he's a player that I'm looking squarely at. He started the year red hot, got hurt, came back, 2 goals and 2 assists in 2 games. He is up there in the top 6 in an improved Columbus Blue Jackets team. I think this week the schedule, my tabs are letting me down here. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets, here we go. Blue Jackets this week, Habs, Flames, and Blackhawks. I know the Flames have been hot, but Habs and Blackhawks, those are 2 really big games for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I think that he is going to continue to get his little power play specialist as well. You need a boost of offense this week. Kent Johnson should be right there at the top of your list, especially because they got the Habs and Blackhawks coming in. 57 on Fantrax, only 8 on Yahoo, and 16 on ESPN. He is likely going to be out there. I think this kid is going to continue to heat up offensively. I can't say anything about the peripherals because they're not there for him. That's not why you get this guy. But if you're looking for a purely offensive boost, Kent Johnson, top of the list.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot better seeing this Columbus Blue Jackets team so far this season. 9-9-2 record on the season so far. Yeah. We're getting to the month of December, so they're at a 500%. Win rate right now.
3 in a row too.
3 in a row, 3 wins in a row. So you like to see some of these young guys. This is still a very young team. Goaltending a little bit inconsistent. That's something to be expected from these guys right now. But Ken Johnson's been a big surprise. A player that they've really wanted to see develop properly throughout their organization, get that confidence, get that consistency. You're seeing a little bit more this year. Again, we like all of the Russian players they have in their team. True. Still waiting, to be honest, with Adam Fantilli. I really want to see him start popping off. So it's been a little bit hard to hold on to a player of his his potential because I have him in one of my keeper leagues. Again, I believe he's rostered. His rostering percentage has been dropping down quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So it might be time for me to let go sayonara on Adam Fantilli. It's a little bit difficult, but Kent Johnson is one of those guys who's been great so far this season. We're going to come back after the break and break down all of our big time bets for Monday. Betting board, everything you need to know. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. The goal is simple. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings pour in all season long. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You can win 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Leon Draisaitl 4+ shots. Igor Shesterkin 25+ saves. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive this bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen every single day. You can make sure you hit the subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We really do appreciate all that love and support you show us. Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning is when you can find our episodes, usually anyways. Big time bets, lots of games on the schedule, lots of games this upcoming week. So this is going to be a big week for big time bets where we try to get everyone some extra cash in their pockets, especially over the holiday season. Over to you, my friend. Where are you looking first?
I'm just going to pop off real quick with 3, if you don't mind. Tampa Bay playing Colorado, playing host to Colorado. This is one of those situations that just at first glance, it's screaming over to me. The last 2 games, most recent 2 between these 2 teams, have produced 17 total goals. Avalanche starting to really feel it. 3 big wins. They got 3 in a row, Steele, and that offense is clicking. So when I see that and I see the Tampa Bay Lightning getting theirs offensively as well, keeping it short, simple, and sweet. Over 6.5 in the Colorado Avalanche Tampa Bay Lightning game. Second pick, quick. On the road, Dallas into Carolina. I understand that the Carolina Hurricanes have looked pretty good over their last 10. However, Dallas has points in 8 of their last 10 games against the Carolina Hurricanes. Kochetkov is now out. That's another one that I wanted to throw honorable mention to. Is Spencer Martin in the cage for the Carolina Hurricanes. The only problem is this week for the Canes, the Stars, then followed up by the Panthers twice and the Rangers. Really tough week where I don't feel too confident going after Spencer Martin. However, if we find out that Kochetkov is down for even a somewhat prolonged period of time, with Freddie out, this guy is going to be the #1 over the next few weeks. So with all of those things in mind, Steele, you're getting a good plus odd money here for the Dallas Stars on the money line. Hit me with them as my second pick. And quickly, my lock of the night, LA into San Jose. Ons Kopitar has been a revelation this season, feeding the biscuit at will to his teammates and off to a very strong start. Ons Kopitar, in his career against the San Jose Sharks, has owned them. 27 goals, 43 assists in 94 career regular season games. Lock of the night, back to the veteran, the wily beauty. Ons Kopitar, anytime assist is my lock of the night.
I like all those picks. I mean, this is a little bit of a tough schedule going into Monday night. I've got a few picks. I like all 3 of those ones, obviously. Kings as well. I'm going to have to start off along with you with the Dallas Stars on the money line at minus 102 on the road. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I think it's going to come down to the goaltending, and I'm just not quite sure Spencer Martin has that in his bag over Jake Ottinger. So I'm liking the minus 102 money line for the Dallas Stars. I'm also going to follow that up with the Jack Hughes 2+ points. You know, I've been hitting those 2+ point bets. I like Jack Hughes. Pointless last game. He had 3 assists the game before that. Pointless before that. 3 assists before that one. I'm liking the trend here, but they're going up against the Nashville Predators, a team that is in the middle of the pack for goals against. They're minus 15 in goal differential. I'm liking this. Jack Hughes plus 200 for 2+ points. I'm liking the odds right there for my boy Jack Hughes. Also, to finish off the night, it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going with my gut. I'm going with a little bit of biasism over in this pick. Minnesota Wild at home at plus 105. I'm hoping Kirill Kaprizov will be back. I'm hoping he will be back. He wasn't in the lineup last game due to some injury, but it's nothing serious. I'm hoping he's back tonight, but I'm going to take the Wild on the money line at plus 105. However, my lock of the night will be the Jack Hughes 2+ points.
You've been hitting those 2+ points, and those are some juicy odds usually when you slap those with another couple of picks. If you're only slapping down a 5 or a 10 bet, really liking those juicy odds for a couple of plus points for an individual player. I like these bets. Let's have another big week. Love that it's a loaded week. This is the time of the schedule, though, Steele, before things go a little kooky ahead of the holiday schedule, that it can get a little dicey fantasy and hockey betting-wise. So we got you Monday through Friday. Keep it tapped right here, and we'll walk y'all through it.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Pod your first listen every single day. For your second listen, make sure you go check out the Locked On NHL podcast, where the season never ends, providing national expertise with a local perspective. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. From both Flip and I, we wish you good luck with all those bets you placed tonight. We wish you good luck with your weekly matchups, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.